Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews.
Giving you opinions about nerd stuff is our superpower.
I'm Captain Mal.
I'm Hailstorm.
Hey there, cool cats and kittens. I'm Weapon 2. Welcome to Big Cat Rescue. Here at Big Cat Rescue, we're trying out some of our new line of tiger food. Two of the top flavors going for us right now are sardine oil and Joe Exotic's boot. But our favorite flavor right now is
Dawn.
Never mind, I'm done.
I just want to say, you made our live studio audience run out of the room.
She was crying. She fell on the floor
laughing.
and is crying.
The last one was going to be Carol Baskin's husband, but I just lost it.
Well, I'm surprised.
Do you know what we're talking about right now?
That stupid tiger documentary.
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
I'm surprised you kept it going that long. That was well played.
Especially while somebody's crying on the floor over
Yeah,
there.
that was the funniest part. Is the live studio audience over there is like dying.
Yeah.
I think you gave her a stroke.
Does she need CPR? Should we check on her?
Well, no, she can wait till after the podcast. Huh?
Okay.
We got
Good
priorities.
Good enough.
So, hey, thank you for joining us on episode 16 of the world's greatest podcast. Today, we are going to give you our top 5 post-apocalyptic movies of all time. Right?
I'm proud you could say that.
I know it was hard.
I know I'm going to mess it up at some point.
It's a tough list for me because this isn't exactly my genre, but I think I put together a good one. As always, we're going to finish with the game of this or that. But first, Weapon 2.
What? Well, hey, we're just what we're doing right now is are we going into the shout-outs, or are we going into...
I thought we were going to lead with quarantine stuffs and all that.
Oh.
We could always write stuff down.
Yes, folks. So we wanted to let everybody know, I know that the COVID-19 is important to everybody out there, so we want to make sure everybody knew that for the time period through this, we've stopped having outside guests come in to help fix that. I know that we're all sitting kind of close here, but pretty much we're all essential workers at our job. We all go to our job, and that's pretty much all we do is just go to our job and home and make midnight runs to the grocery store if we have to. So I want everybody to know that we are paying attention to that, and it is important, and just wanted to make that statement.
Yeah, and everybody be safe and do what you're supposed to do so that way this can get over as soon as possible. So, yeah, we are taking it seriously. The fact that we're here doesn't mean we're belittling it or downplaying it. So, everybody be safe. We just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Right?
I think we're trying to insert a little levity into the situation.
We are.
We did have a long talk about the risk. It's one of the reasons why T. Crawler isn't here with us today. I think we want to acknowledge that. Like Weapon 2 said, we are all going to work every day. So we have not been able to eliminate our risk totally like a lot of people have. And so we talked about whether or not we were introducing additional risk by being together here. And since 2 of us live together anyway, it was really kind of an easy decision for us.
Yeah, and we feel like it's important to keep bringing you guys content as a way to escape from the, all this shit that's going on right now. So, yeah, we just wanted to throw a little disclaimer message out real quick before we got started.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now, Weapon 2. Shout it out.
We got some shout outs here, folks. Boy, if there's one thing I like doing, it's giving the shout outs to everybody, because we appreciate everybody that comes on. We got some new people to the Facebook page. We got Buddy Hunt.
Yeah, buddy.
Way to go, buddy. Norma Jean. Way to go, Norma.
Norma
Nice.
Jean.
Ernesto Romero.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ernesto. We got Ann Vasquez.
Yeah,
welcome, Ann
Welcome.
Vasquez. And Sarah Marie. Welcome, Sarah.
Welcome.
Nice.
So that's great. We have some newest top fans. We got Gabe Vasquez, and we have Kelda Adair. So thank you both.
All right, Kelda.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you to all you guys for top fans joining us. I think they deserve a round of applause. You guys are awesome. Keep it up.
Without you, we would just be 3 people sitting at this table talking to ourselves. So this is great. We appreciate you.
We do.
Which you guys aren't opposed to, I do know.
No, we wouldn't do that anyways. It's not that we wouldn't do it.
For sure.
Right.
Okay, so is that all the shout-outs we got?
That's all the shout-outs we got. Now we're going to do hey, what are you guys into? Hey guys, what's going down? What you feeling your time? I mean, spare time? You're all held up at your house. What you doing? What you doing with yourselves?
I just wanted you to do it.
All right. So, hey, let's start with Hailstorm.
Well, hang on. There might be someone listening to this for the first time. What's the actual segment name?
It is, what are you into? Right? Is that the actual segment name? I mean, I throw so many words into it that I don't. Okay.
I mean, we can make it whatever we want, but that's basically where we're going to go.
What are you into?
Let's start with the hailstorms.
Yeah.
I am reading right now a book on Kindle, which is not my usual preferred form of taking in books, but I was working overtime and needed to find something to occupy my time. So I'm reading a book series from a few years ago called Superpowers. It is about a school where they take regular people and people with powers and try and figure out who can harness their powers and whether or not they can become supers. I just started book 1. So far, it's really well written and I really like it, and I'm excited about how far it goes. It has several books. It's very long, but it's really good. So that's what I'm into. Nice.
Okay. I am currently, I just wrapped up my second run through a book series called The Dresden Files. If that sounds familiar to you, it is because friend of the show, H. Dresden, gets his name from that series. It's really, really good. It is 15 books long right now. It's going to be 20 total. There's 2 more coming out this year, which is exciting. It's basically about, it's urban fantasy, so it stars a wizard operating out of modern day Chicago, and he goes through, and the story is really, really good. The characters are great, and it's, he fights the normal barrage of supernatural creatures, vampires, monsters, demons, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really good. It's really interesting. I really like it. The audio version is narrated by James Marsters, who is Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so that is fantastic if you're a Buffy fan. Also, per Weapon 2's recommendation, I checked out The Last Kingdom on the Netflix. Mm-hmm. And I'm only 3 episodes into it, but it is really, really, really good so far.
There you go.
I really dig it. So production quality. Weapon Hail.
Way to go, Weapon 2.
Let's just solve that problem right now. Num. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really good.
Well, because the 3rd season of the Ozarks came out, I never really got into Weapon. I mean, oh my goodness, tonight, you
never
people.
Got into Weapon 2.
I never got into season 2, so I've started watching season 2 again, so I can, and it's great so far, and I can't wait to see season 3 because everybody's saying it's awesome and it's crazy. So yeah, that's what I'm into, man. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing with the spare time. Okay.
Nice.
I am having a bad night, I'm telling you.
Wait, about you're golden.
Am I
golden?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your money, baby. Your money.
Oh, you don't even know how money you are, baby. You're so money. Yeah, I got the reference.
There's one thing I want to talk about, though.
Yeah.
And that is the Firesiders group.
Oh.
We got the podcast, the Fireside Chats.
Uh-huh.
Those guys.
Weapon 2 started beef.
Yeah.
I don't know that I started beef.
I don't know that we're the good guys in this story.
There's beef.
There's beef. It's what's on the table. It's on for dinner tonight.
It's USDA choice.
For grade A.
Grade A beef. And there's been some talk. I mean, they think that we're the villains and they're heroes, but here's the deal.
Every villain's the hero of their own story.
Yes, every villain thinks that what they're doing is what needs to be done. So here's the thing. Only time will tell who's the real villain in this rivalry.
Also, I'll tell. They're the villains in the rivalry. So let's establish that right the fuck now.
So anyway, hey, folks, someday when we're on your podcast and we're all talking about this and we're talking about the shenanigans and that was so us. There you go. I can't wait. That'll be good times.
It will be. I just want to comment on a couple of things that they actually said.
Yes.
So they called you out on their Facebook group because you said that you liked Wolverine and Namor, right? And they didn't like them.
That is correct.
And the one dude whose name escapes me,
Maurer,
was saying,
Mr. Maurer.
So he doesn't like Wolverine. And so if your argument is, hey, I don't like Wolverine, that character does nothing for me, I find him uninteresting, fine. But his argument was that was not an iconic character.
Right.
And that's such a ridiculous thing to say about one of the most iconic characters in all the comic books. You don't have to like him, but you have to acknowledge the fact that he is an iconic character. So that's weird. Also, he called us a bunch of Marvel fanboys, or what did he say? Like Marvel... something, some equivalent to that. And I'm like, yeah, maybe Weapon 2, but it needs to be known I'm a DC guy. So I'm about to start getting a lot more vocal on this page, and it is all in good fun. It's cool. It's cool to find another group of guys that are like totally into this kind of stuff with us.
Yeah.
And it's fun to have a little rivalry. And yeah, but they're the bad guys though. Just so everybody knows.
I hear you.
What do you think, Hellstorm?
I think y'all are batshit passionate. It's my favorite way to describe this.
By
Mischief.
Managed. There we go. All right, so what are you doing now? Have we got to where we're going to get to our top 5?
You just really want to get there, don't you?
I don't know, man.
So much nonsense.
I am
You're
not
a
on
mess
my
today.
top of the... I am.
But you know what?
A mess. What?
You at like the second level of your game, better than anybody else except me.
Oh, nice.
Except
there we go.
Captain Mal.
Nice.
Exactly. Yeah, let's do our top 5. Let's do it. Screw it.
All right, here we go. We starting with me, or we starting with Hailstorm down there? What do you want to do?
Let's let Hailstorm. What do you want to go?
You know
first?
what? Yeah, I can go first. I just need to get my list out of the vault.
Oh,
okay.
I got it in here. Got it.
Right.
Got it.
I'm gonna get my list.
I needed to keep it secret.
It's right in between the games.
I believe very strongly in the secret of the list. So I got to set up my wall, my fortress of solitude. All right, so I like to start with how I made my list. And I want to specify that post-apocalypse is the time after the apocalypse. So for me, that ruled out movies where it was during the apocalypse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like for me, the first Terminator, that was before.
I would say all of them are before except for Salvation, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
well, actually, we're only supposed to remember 2 and then that last one, apparently.
I get confused.
So,
yeah.
Don't try to tell
They don't even
else
know their own
rules.
timeline.
Those can be your rules. Don't tell everybody
No,
else
I
the
did
rules.
say my own rules. I said
it.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Bossy.
just
Don't make me do the
holding
rewind
true.
effect again. That took a while.
That was fun, though.
Thank you.
I am holding true to the fact that we used the term post-apocalypse. So, with that said, my number 5, it was Ready Player One.
Is that apocalyptic? Was there an apocalyptic event?
The event doesn't have to be included.
Oh.
This is post-apocalypse.
Yeah, but what... I don't think there was a post-apocalypse. Like the world just sucked, and there was just like a lot of shitty people.
Yeah, I feel
that's
like
fine. You can have those as your 5.
it was a dystopian movie.
Okay, fine.
So,
but this is where the list got kind of hard for me too, because there was there was other movies I'll get to when I talk about mine that it was like, yeah, it's a dystopian future, but I was like, is it an apocalypse? Like nothing happened, half the species.
I mean, I feel like if things aren't going along the way we expect them to, I mean, like there's no McDonald's, so if it's not going along the way we expect it to now, something had to have happened, and the apocalypse could just mean a huge crash in the economy, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I guess we could have talked about this ahead
We
of
could
time.
have clarified, but fuck it, just roll with it.
So with Ready Player One, I was a huge fan of the book, loved it, and between the two, I have to say it's one of those cases where the book explores the characters more, but I still enjoyed the movie, loved it, still think it's one of those things that you can watch. It's also PG-13, so you could watch it with teenagers, and it's got a lot of nostalgic twists, touches to it, a lot of references that I think people will enjoy. So that was my number 5.
Nice. To add to that, I am also a huge fan of the book, and I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. And I feel like the movie, while they changed quite a bit, still captured the essence of of the book. Still
I think
had
that's
the
perfect.
feel.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I
still...
know people that loved the book and were angry with the movie because it wasn't word for word. But I think you're right. The essence was still there.
Like I feel like if you hadn't read the book, you could watch that and still get the same takeaway. So like, I did like that movie quite a bit, and the book's great too. But good number 5.
Thank you.
All right, my number 5 post-apocalyptic movie movie of all time is actually one that I didn't think of until these two showed up, and I had to alter my list quite a bit. Demolition Man, 1993. Sylvester Stallone. Who was that? Dennis Rodman? Was it Rodman? Wasn't that?
Yes.
It was Rodman. Yeah. Sandra Bullock. Awesome movie about a cop and a freaking bad guy who get frozen and then wake up in a future where there's only Taco Bell. It's the only restaurant. And really, really fun, cool action. And like it has really, really cool like tropes in that movie that like influence other movies to come, and just like really iconic moments like the 3 seashells that everybody has a bunch of theories about. The scene when he realizes he gets fined for cursing, so he goes up and starts cursing at the machine to get toilet paper. I love when the cops first encounter like the bad guy of Wesley Snipes. It's Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
It is totally Wesley Snipes.
But
yeah,
I was.
Feel free
it's
to correct me.
okay. Hey, it's all right.
It was Wesley Snipes.
You can. You can.
I thought maybe Dennis Rodman was hidden in there somewhere.
Rodman was in another very similar movie, I think, around this time. I'm going to look it up. Yeah. Anyway, but I like one of my favorite scenes of that movie is when the cops who are like not used...
To be honest, until you said Taco Bell, I couldn't remember what movie we were talking about.
I love this scene when they're first encountering Wesley Snipes' character, and the cops aren't used to dealing with criminals. So dude's like holding his like little device, and it's like in a firm tone, tell Maniac to get on the floor. He's like, get on the floor, and he's like, fuck you. And it's like, did Maniac comply? And he's like, no. And he's responded in a very hurtful manner. But yeah, really, really good movie. Fun, good action, total 90s cheese throughout, but it's really, really cool. And I think it was Sandra Bullock's first like big like theatrical release movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's my number 5. Weapon 2.
Okay, my number 5. I had trouble putting these in order. I'm going to tell you that, folks, because there was... I had a lot of trouble. So I'm going to say a really good movie as my top 5, and you go, what? But it is. It's The Matrix. The Matrix is my top 5. And
Captain Mal's face.
Are you okay over there, Captain?
I don't think he finds that acceptable.
So, The Matrix is, it was a groundbreaking movie where you're sitting there and you think you're going through your nice little life, getting your coffee and going to the office and all that stuff. And next thing you know, you find out you're really in a tank, plugged in, being used by the robots as a battery. And then, what a shock. What a shock to find that out. And then you realize, hey, I don't have to follow the rules of this Matrix, man. I can be a superhero because it's all pretend anyways. So that's pretty cool. The Matrix is a great movie. Keanu Reeves was good in it. It suited him real well. And I don't know what else to say about The Matrix.
What do you have to say, Captain Mal, about Weapon 2's choice of The Matrix at number 5? I think you have thoughts.
We'll get there. Well, for now, let's go to number 4, Hailstorms.
Dang. Okay, so for my number 4, and I do want to preface my list. I mean, I should have prefaced it before I started, but I tend to go for the lighter, dark, post-apocalyptic.
Lighter dark?
So you've established on previous episodes you don't like sad things. You
don't
like stuff that makes
things.
you happy.
Right.
So
you're the lighter side of darkness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's still dark.
No, this works though because I'm nihilist AF. So it is a good, you bring a lot to the team.
I think that I
a lot
come
of
up
levity.
with some different ones. Yeah, than you guys do. Plus, I've never seen The Matrix, which we've already talked about. You already knew that.
I blocked it out.
It came out in episode 10. Didn't it?
Whew, yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Right.
I'm going to drink a lot on this episode. A lot of brown water.
I'm
okay,
sorry.
number 4. No, that's okay.
All right, so my number 4 is a movie called Delicatessen. It's a French movie with subtitles, but don't let that stop you from watching it.
Did you rent this to watch it? Because the only reason I didn't put this one on mine because I didn't want to rent it to watch it.
I can't remember. I think
you rented it.
No, I think that it was free. I think that I found it free. But if not, it was only like $4.
Right.
Came out in 1991. It basically takes place almost totally in this old dilapidated apartment building where a guy owns a delicatessen on the bottom floor. And the currency of choice in this post-apocalyptic thing that takes place in the past is food. Food has like a huge premium. So this guy who also does his own butchering is constantly supplying food for the rest of the people in the apartment building via ads in the newspaper for maintenance men who constantly go missing. So it's awesome. Funny.
Nice.
I love it. It's worth it. Worth
What was it called again?
Delicatessen.
Cool. I won't watch that until you watch The Matrix. All right.
Fair enough.
My number 4 post-apocalyptic movie of all time. 2007, I Am Legend.
Good choice.
So this is a remake of The Omega Men, I believe, is the name of the original. And it actually was remade again, and this is the third attempt at this movie. I really, really like it. Will Smith is one of my favorite actors of all time. He's charismatic as hell. And the cool thing about this movie is for about 2/3 of the movie, he's the only character on screen. And just like Tom Hanks in Castaway, you have to be a brilliant actor to pull that off and make it interesting. Because later on in the movie, like shit starts hitting the fan and like lots of actiony stuff starts happening. And I would argue that's when the movie drops off just a little bit. It doesn't like start to suck or anything. But the movie's at its best when we're going through the day-to-day life of Will Smith. And he keeps having dreams and we're seeing via flashback what happened and how things went down. I have never been so sad to see a dog die. Spoilers. It was really, really rough. That was a really, really great movie. And fun fact, the car that he's driving in the beginning is the 2007 Ford Shelby GT500, whose sales were actually not doing as good as they predicted until the release of this movie when they like skyrocketed after the fact.
Nice.
So, fun fact, great movie. Really enjoyed it. Weapon 2.
So in that movie, don't you feel like he's basically the last remnant of a world that's evolving to the next level? He's hanging on to everybody else on the planet has evolved to another species.
Kind of, yeah, because it was like a virus that broke out, killed almost everybody.
Yeah, so it's basically the world has changed. He's still trying to hang on.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. That was interesting.
That was a good movie, yeah.
Yeah, it was. So my next one is Blade Runner 2049. Now... Blade Runner 2049. This is one of those movies that really make you think. I mean, it's a movie about replicants who are synthetic human beings, made to be, workers and slaves and people that do the grunt work that nobody else wants to do. They're treated like subspecies of beings. Discriminated against when they decide that they want to stop strictly following orders and kind of become more where they want to kind of live their own lives and have their own thoughts. They send the Blade Runners after them to kill them because they are not doing what they were created for at that point. And in this one, a miracle happens where the replicants are able to birth a child not made synthetically but born from replicant parents, and the star of this movie, he's sent to kill a replicant in the beginning that turns out that he's basically says there's this miracle that happened and he's trying to figure it out. Then they find out that this child was born. He's sent to kill the child. He then, throughout the story, starts to think that maybe he is the child because he has memories from this child. And he tracks down Harrison Ford, who was the Blade Runner from the original Blade Runner, who's the father of the replicant child, and he finds out that he's actually not the child. This is his other girl, and she's the one who creates the memories for replicants.
Spoilers.
Am I not supposed to do all
I just wanted to throw it out.
Yeah, these are spoilers, everybody. Anyway, so it's really a good movie. It's one of those movies where you're really thinking about what makes a person or a sentient being a person, and if you're capable of having feelings and emotions and thoughts and hopes and dreams. Aren't you a real boy, Pinocchio? I think that's what we're going with here. How about you? What's next with you, Hailstorm?
Oh, hang on. We needed to have a conversation where we determined what post-apocalyptic meant, because I love Blade Runner 2049, and that would have been on my list. I took that to be like a dystopian future movie because it didn't seem like any kind of like. It just seemed like it was a really shitty future, and there's lots of people and shit. So it didn't look post-apocalyptic to me.
There's been some huge nuclear event in Las Vegas that nobody but replicants can live there.
You missed that part, didn't you?
Blade Runner is hiding there because that's so radiated that nobody can live there, and that's where he's living as a safe haven. That's not post-apocalyptic?
Oh, okay, good point. What you got, Hailstorm?
Did you only pick movies where people had dirt on their face? Is that how you felt like this was going to happen?
I felt if there wasn't a copious amount of sand, then it's not post-apocalyptic.
I mean, fair enough, because mostly when we think about post-apocalyptic, we think about the Mad Max vehicles and the stuff on the face and the sand.
Yeah, none of those are on my list, though. But anyway, what's your number? What are we at? 3? 4?
4.
Three.
Three.
We're at 3.
So my number 3... Turbo Kid, 2015 Canadian movie. Sorry, I went with these obscure ones, but you guys got to watch this one. It's really good. You're not believing me.
No, you're going to tell us about it, I hope, though.
Yeah, sell me.
Because you haven't sold me so far.
Okay,
other than Turbo sounds fast.
And Canadian movie, strike one.
I'm not as good at selling people on movies as you guys are, but basically it's this kid. He's a comic book fan. The movie was made in 2015, and it's post-apocalyptic, but it's set in 1997. So, and it has this amazing cinematography. So even though it's post-apocalyptic and it's still got a lot of the brownish tones like they always have, they also put a lot of color in it. So just looking at it is amazing. Basically, it's this kid, and he never has a name. He's known as the Kid the whole movie. He's trying to survive. He runs into this girl. I don't want to spoil it too much. I think it's pretty much known. He finds out that she's a robot. The bad guys in this are basically kind of similar to the bad guys in Tank Girl, where water's the biggest resource, and so they go around and capture water from people's bodies, which is exactly like Tank Girl. But lots of cheesy squirting blood special effects.
Nice.
Like super cheesy, like people's faces getting cut in half and then they just point at them and there's just blood everywhere. But it's funny. Cute.
Oh, I'm laughing on the inside.
I mean, what's not funny about people spraying their blood everywhere? I mean, that's hilarious, of course.
Right.
Lol.
Okay.
But in a fun way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like a sprinkler.
Okay. Interesting.
A water park.
Obscure pick. Okay. My number 3, 2012's Dread, starring Carl Urban. So a lot of people skipped on this movie because I think it's 95's Judge Dredd with Stallone is a dumpster fire of a movie. That movie is terrible. It's not good. It is the quintessential 1990s comic book movie adaptation where they took nothing seriously and everything is just cheese. This movie is fan-freaking-tastic. It is awesome. Takes place in a post-apocalyptic future where there is like a nuclear radiated wasteland is the majority of the world, and there's one gigantic city called Mega City 1 that hosts about 800 million people, and it's all ghetto. It's all terrible. And this movie is really cool because it's a self-contained story of him basically training this rookie, and they get locked in a 200-story slum, and all the gang members in this slum are coming after them, trying to kill them. It's badass. It's super violent. It is a hard R rating, which it earns within the first 10 minutes of the movie. It does really cool. It has like the cliche slow-mo effect, but it actually works it into the plot line as to why that happens and how people are experiencing that. And Carl Urban does his best Batman impression, and it's amazing. It's quite good. Really, really, really good movie that a lot of people miss. So check out Dread 2012.
Sounds good.
Never saw it. Sounds scary. Yeah, never saw it.
It's violent as fuck.
Okay, well,
Lena Headey's the bad guy. It's crazy. She's crazy.
Speaking of dirt on the face and Mad Max, my number 3 is going to be Mad Max Fury Road.
Nice.
The reason I put this one on here is that movie is non-stop action craziness, almost at a carnival level. Just crazy people with with guy playing electric guitar on the top of a vehicle, and people pinned out on the front with masks on their face, and just vehicles just blowing smoke and explosions nonstop. The star of this show is not Mad Max. It's Furiosa. Is that her name? Furiosa?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
This should be this should be Furiosa, Fury Road. Mad Max is also in it. That should be the name of the movie. It is crazy, nonstop, action fun, a lot of dirt on the face, and there is a person named Mad Max. There you go.
I want to praise that movie for its use of practical effects.
Yeah.
90% of that movie is practical shit that is shot on set, and it looks really, really good.
The explosions are real.
All the cars, all that scene is
blowing
real.
up is real. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do want to say that while doing my research, I didn't read into it, but I did see some headings saying they were looking at doing a Furiosa movie.
Good.
I've heard that before too,
Okay.
doing a spinoff. Yeah.
She was a star of that movie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay, calm down.
All right. Back at your end of the
Number
table
2.
there,
All right.
Hailstorm.
Well, is it number 2 or number 3?
It's
Number 2.
Number 2.
Keep
okay.
up. Keep up.
I should put numbers on mine.
I mean, it would help.
Okay, so my number 2, Zombieland 1 and 2. I know that's a cheat, but I couldn't pick between the two. I treated them like they were one extra long movie. That's fair. I make up the rules. I make up the rules for my own list.
I like how we haven't said anything, but you keep defending yourself.
Well, it's the look on Weapon 2's face.
Okay. Continue.
I mean, sure, yeah.
Okay. And so, for people who haven't seen it, I don't know what I could say to make you see it, because you already should have seen both of them. Zombieland 1, the first one, came out in 2009, and then the second Zombieland takes place 10 years later and came out 10 years later, which is amazing because they use the same actors, so you actually see how they aged 10 years for reals.
And they all look really good. Like,
yeah, I mean,
except for the youngest girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody else looks
to
great.
Be fair, yeah.
To be fair.
Look at his.
I'm sorry. I'm so excited to do it.
There's no dentists in post-apocalyptic world.
Damn,
Right.
we're going there.
Telling you?
Yeah, so she's
Okay.
that's rough. That was rough.
Yeah. I don't know. So if somebody hasn't seen it, I don't know what I could say to make them want to see it, because really, if you just describe the movie, it's like, yeah, these two mismatched guys end up running into these two sisters and going to find the safe place in the world post-apocalypse with zombies. This one's zombies.
Except for it's hilarious, awesome,
yeah,
and
you
fun.
lead with
Yeah.
action, comedy, hilarious, violent Twinkies.
See, this is why you guys do what you do, and I'm just sitting here
We are
saying,
on
We got your
board.
back.
Those were good selections.
They are, yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what else I could say except for super funny. Both movies were good. I didn't know if I would like the second one, if it was going to be able to hold up as well as the first one.
I feel as though it did.
I think, definitely. Yeah. I love the rules, which we did on our Instagram last week.
Very well done, by the way.
We did it,
That
an
was good.
Avengers Zombieland mashup that started while I was making this list. It made me think of that. So it was fun. All right. That's what I have to say for my number,
Nice.
whatever.
2. My number 2 is 2012's Oblivion, starring friend of the show, Tom Cruise.
Hey, Tom.
So, hey, Tom, give us a shout, man. What you
It'll
doing?
be good to see you catch up.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard from you in a while, and I'm just
Never
a little
heard
worried.
of that movie.
Go out and
Never
get a
heard of that
coffee.
movie. I know, I'm hurting our
Okay.
friendship with
So,
Tom Cruise.
Oblivion is one of the best original sci-fi movies in like the last 10 years. Okay. So again, it's post-apocalyptic, right? And it's him and like one other girl. I can't remember who it is. I think it's Jessica Chastain, but I always get her and Bryce Dallas Howard confused. It's one of them, I believe.
Well, one's a Howard and the other one's not.
Clearly.
But they match.
Yeah,
I
but
get it.
so basically it's him, and he's really like the lead in the majority of the movie, and he's flying around patrolling the world. The world is like a big wasteland, and we've all migrated to, I believe, one of the moons in Saturn, and we're basically just like sucking up the water and like taking resources and power. So like they send a different team there and like the one non-radiated zone to monitor it and all that, because the aliens that like invaded us and all that kind of stuff and like forced us to leave have drones out there and shit like that. So they're there to like make sure that these big turbine things are still working and all that. I can't really say too much without giving away the entire plot of the movie, but it takes really, really cool and really creative twists and turns in the movie. Does some really, really great action. Visually, this movie is a gorgeous masterpiece of cinematography. It is a very, very, very unbelievably pretty. freaking Morgan Freeman's in it, so he makes every movie just like instantly better.
Yeah.
I can't say what the plot is without, spoiling the movie, but the twists that it takes are legitimate holy shit moments. It is legit one of the best like action sci-fi movies of like the last 10 years. So check it out. Oblivion, starring Tom Cruise.
Awesome.
Nice. So folks, my next one, it's kind of a downer. Okay.
What?
It is a downer.
That's cool because Hailstorm will pick us back up.
And I'll tell you, it is a tough watch. It's hard. It's a struggle to watch it. But for me, it's an important movie in this genre because it shows just how hard. I mean, it doesn't have a cursory view at how hard it is to survive in this kind of a post-apocalyptic environment. It shows just the daily struggle. And what it is, this one is The Road.
Oh.
And you're never, if you can figure out exactly what type of an event happens, you're better than me, because I don't know exactly what happened, but something happened. And so you got this family who's living their regular life. Something happened. Next thing you know, the world is post-apocalyptic. And what you find out in a lot of these movies, but especially this, is it's not really the event that's the struggle and the terror in this. It's other people on the planet, because when this happens, you lose lawlessness and the things that make our civilization what it is, and people just go rogue and decide that they can do whatever they want and there's no consequences. Bad things happen. When people go hungry and they've run out of food, there's cannibalism and everything. And the struggle in this thing, I mean, is where you have this family and they're trying to make it. They come across people who have given up, and they always have in the back of their mind that they might have to end things, but they keep trying and trying and trying. At one point, for the mother, it becomes too much, and she basically wanders off, and you know that she's just wandered off to die because she can't do it anymore. So it's the father and the son who are continuing to go on through the whole thing, and it's just sad and brutal and hard, but it's a movie that makes you feel really probably as much as you possibly could just inside the struggle and the turmoil in this, until spoilers at the end. Did I say that right? Spoilers at the right time before I actually spoiled something.
Good job.
There's some events where they're attacked by some people, and the father finally at the end dies, and another person comes across where they're always so wary of other people and afraid of them. And it turns out in the end, it's another family, a mother and a father with a couple children and a dog, and they take him in because they saw that his father died. So I guess as happy an ending as you can have
really
in such a sad movie. At least the boy has somebody to take care of him, and he can go on, and hopefully somewhere in the future things get better. The Road.
I'm sad.
Yeah, you made me sad too. Thanks for bringing the room down.
I'm sorry.
I actually have a friend who keeps trying to get me to watch this movie. Like
it's a really,
again.
really good movie. It's a really tough movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't sell me on it now.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for people who don't have some intestinal fortitude to try to go through it. But it really stirs the emotions of that type of a scenario.
10 out of 10 will not watch. No intestinal
There's definitely
fortitude.
a place for those kind of movies, though. Yeah. But Hailstorm, please bring the room back up. What do you got?
I'll try. My number one. I don't want any angry looks.
Oh my God, Tank Girl.
No.
Really?
I did not include Tank Girl.
Word.
I went with Avengers Endgame. The snap is an apocalyptic event.
There's still 3.5 billion people on the planet.
I'm sorry, I don't recall us making a rule about how many people.
Well, apparently this countdown has no rules. There's no rules. Everybody's just making up their own fucking rules. Apparently that's the world we're living in. Talk about Avengers Endgame.
The snap is an apocalyptic event where everything gets wiped out. Well, half of everything gets wiped out. That's a good number. Right?
Sure,
half
whatever. That's
of
fine.
everything.
That's a big number.
It's a whole movie about them trying to right that wrong, and that's the kind of shit I like.
Okay.
So
it's your list. You can make
I'm
it
not
whatever
gonna
you
undo
want.
my
I'm
list.
just saying this is fucking kangaroo court. I'm just saying this list is all over the place. We don't know what the hell we're doing. It's fine. It's fine.
I knew that
it's
I
fine.
would get this reaction.
It's fine.
I knew it would make you angry, and you know what? I don't care. It makes me laugh inside. It makes me giggle. But basically, I like it because in the end, they spent the whole movie trying to undo that wrong, and in the end, they did. And so,
Spoilers.
even though, no, it doesn't say how.
Okay.
Or why or when or any of that. So yeah, and it's a fantastic movie. So there. Number one, Avengers Endgame. Nah.
Hey, Captain Mouse, show us how it's done. Set us straight. Show us what a proper number one choice is.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait.
The definitive number one.
The definitive number one post-apocalyptic movie
is
of
The Matrix.
All time.
Is
hey,
the Matrix.
You don't know me.
I know.
He knows you every time.
You don't know me.
Right. Okay, just tell me what your number one is.
My number one is actually The Matrix. The Matrix should be number one on any countdown. How the hell did you have it number 5?
It's just where it went.
Okay, fine. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know what you're talking about.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Come on, don't stop talking. Hey. Keep going.
The Matrix is groundbreaking, is revolutionary, is one of the best movies of all time. It set standards and tropes that other movies emulated and tried to achieve and were unable to. It is fantastic. It is an engaging story with great characters, with amazing fight scenes and like legitimate holy shit moments. It has moments that made my jaw drop on the floor and legitimately blew me away. It is one of the movies that like showed that like filmmaking is a work of still arts and movie magic is a thing. It innovated technology and like special effects. It is across the board one of the best movies of all freaking time and should not be anywhere other than number one on anybody's list.
It does make you question reality.
Yes!
It really does. It makes us wonder if any of this is
Wait,
real.
are you saying the movie did, or are you saying it not being number one on everybody's list?
You haven't seen
The
it.
movie
How
did.
about stop talking to me? How about that right now? Love you, Hailstorm.
So my number one is another kind of a downer.
Jesus, what are you doing? Your this or that better be fun.
It's Children of Men.
Oh, I love that movie. That's a good
Children
movie.
of Men is a good movie.
Yeah.
It is super well done. It has a lot.
Can I put in something?
Sure.
That the Delicatessen guy, I think that he was a director on the director of Delicatessen. I think he was a director on Children of Men.
Because that's a masterful movie.
That is a well shot, well structured.
He also did. Hold on, I have to consult my notes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just wanted
just
to start a
hijacked
fun
my-
fact.
I like how she just interrupts you with
Yeah.
information she doesn't know
Welcome to
is
my
correct.
life. Welcome to my life.
Alien Resurrection and Children of Men. I think. I could be
Okay.
wrong. If I'm
All
wrong,
right.
I'm sure that you'll put up a graphic.
Anyway,
Obviously.
So the use of long shots in this, the continuous takes
Yes.
of a thing it happens frequently in this, and I'm telling you, like our lost episode of 1917 was that the movie where that's almost a
that
continuous
was
one.
such a
It
good movie.
adds to just the tension when there's not, for me in a movie, when the cuts give you a break, it makes you take in a breath, you get to recover. And I think when the action and the events are happening continuously, it's a building of tension that sometimes when it goes on too long is almost unbearable. So, and it's well done. There's a lot of things when people make movies that people don't really pay attention to because it seems like it's something that's kind of an afterthought to most people when they're watching a movie, is when they color the images. There's a coloration of the movie.
Color palette is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that's exactly what I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, that's pretty close.
You would know.
But what they do in here is they put in a lot of browns and earth tones. I think that'll add some blues and stuff. But it really, really sets a mood, and it sets certain things apart in this movie. And it's basically in this movie we've stopped being able to have human beings on the planet anymore. There is nobody being born. In fact, the youngest person on the earth, an 18-year-old kid, gets killed, and it's like the most tragic thing that's happened on the planet. Basically, every place other than England, Great Britain, is just a mess. There's refugees. They're all trying to get into England. They're all being caged and pinned and mistreated. And they call them Fugees, I think, the refugees. And so in this whole thing, there's this girl who's a Fuji. She's a refugee who she gets pregnant. There's going to be a baby born on the planet. The first one in over 18 years. Who knows what the next youngest person on the planet was besides that kid that got killed. So the thing with this thing, it's so important, this baby, that there's so many terrorists and all things going on, and the people want to try to use it as some type of a leverage or a power. It's almost like you've amassed some amount of wealth. This child, it's so important to the planet. And so this guy who, in the beginning of the movie, you can tell he's basically given up hope on the planet and in life. He's just going through the motions, and he gets, through a course of action, he wounds up being involved with this pregnant girl and trying to get her to this safe place. I can't remember where they're trying to get it to, but you can see throughout the movie he starts to have hope. The fact that this baby is going to be born, and then it is born in the journey, and it starts to give him hope. And you can see he has something that means something to him again on the planet. And so he winds up dying just before, spoiler, before the end of, there's a ship that I think is called Tomorrow or something that comes while they're out in the middle of the ocean, and she gets rescued. And you feel like everything's going to be okay. But even though he died, he at least died where he had some hope, whereas at the beginning of the movie, he felt like nothing.
Best scene in that entire movie is when they're in that really shitty little town and there's a straight up battle going on between soldiers, like shooting at each other. And it's when the baby's born and they hear it crying and everyone just stops.
Right.
And it's like, holy shit. Yeah, great fucking movie. Well,
yeah, it's good.
Good pick. All right, Hailstorms, you got any honorables?
Tank Girl. I couldn't just totally not say anything because it is one of my favorite movies, obviously, because, it is. But as far as post-apocalyptic, it's good. I'm not going to talk that much about it because we have before and we're going to again. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Nice. Weapon 2, honorables?
I don't know. There was a lot. I had a really big list. I mean, there's way too many to try to, I Am Legend, a lot of the other ones that were on there that we've talked about were on my list, so...
I have a few honorables, mostly because I didn't know how we were going to do this. So as you guys were mentioning stuff, I was like, I guess I can count now. So my honorables: Book of Eli, Blade Runner 2049, Zombieland, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Children of Men, and Waterworld.
Okay, those are all good.
Waterworld's not. Waterworld's a terrible movie. But I love that movie.
But you mentioned
so
that.
Because it's so bad, it's good.
Why do you love it if it's so bad?
Kevin Costner's awesome.
Okay, fair enough.
Some people like Tank Girl.
That's hurtful.
I don't know if that's a spoiler as to what this review is going to be.
It's not. It's not.
All right. Well, that was our top 5 post-apocalyptic movies of all time. Let us know in the comments what your list would be and how you would structure your list, because we were all over the place. But Weapon 2, what are we doing now?
We're going to play a little game called This or That.
I feel like we're gonna nail it this time.
You think so?
I know so.
All right. So
our live studio audience.
Yeah.
You get
there you go.
Over there.
Crowd participation.
There we go.
So we're starting over here. Go.
This
or
that.
Well, that's not a word at all.
I don't even know.
That was like a word laugh. It was a word laugh. You got to be loud. You got to be loud.
That wasn't fair. That wasn't fair to do to her.
Let's start it.
It's totally fair.
Here we go. Here we go.
This
or
that. No,
okay, epic fail. Epic fail.
Okay.
You know what? Hey,
2 strikes and she's out.
I have an idea.
What?
Why don't we collectively try to make the same sound?
Wait, just without talking about it?
We should probably talk about it. Otherwise, we're not going to make the same sound.
Oh.
Okay, well, what kind of sound are we going to make?
I don't know. What could it be?
I don't know.
What's been our favorite sound so far that people have made?
Sound?
I don't know.
I don't think we've had a...
I think my favorite was the caca.
Okay. So,
the caca was my favorite.
On 3, ready? 1, 2.
Wait. Are we going to do the this or that and then caca?
Sure, let's do that.
Wait, so like, are we going to say it and then everyone says caca at the end?
Yeah, let's
got
do
it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, this.
Or.
That.
Caca!
Let's do it one more time.
This.
Or.
That.
Why are you waiting?
Because
You're pausing. We're supposed to do it
I'm really
fast.
concentrating on saying caca.
But we're supposed to do it fast.
No, here we go.
You're throwing my
One more
rhythm
time. Here
off.
we go.
No,
No,
wait a minute.
I'm ready.
Hey, the caca is caca. You said caca, which is a totally different thing.
Don't tell me how to say the made up word. Okay, let's go. One more time. Ready?
This.
Or.
That.
Caca!
Oh boy, this is why we're
the
never
best
going to be
we could do.
famous.
That is
Okay.
fun. No, this is fun. This is fun stuff, folks.
Famous is overrated.
All righty.
It's underrated.
Okay, people. So, if I can get my notes up here. So, number 1 on our list, if you had the power to make 1,000 people happy for 6 months or give 1,000 people $20,000, which would you choose and why?
Is that two different things?
Yeah, wouldn't the
I don't
20 grand make
understand.
1,000 people happy? It'd make me
There's
happy.
plenty of rich people that aren't happy.
I'm
So
not going to
one
make
is
any rich
guaranteed
people
happy.
Here we go. Money does not buy happiness. So here's what you say: 1,000 people, you can make them happy for 6 months, or give 1,000 people $20,000.
I'm going to give 1,000 people 20 grand because I know a lot of people where 20 grand would go a long way for them.
I am going to make 1,000 people happy because that may mean something different to different people, and money can make some people
I don't
miserable.
even know 1,000 people.
It doesn't matter.
They can be random people. You don't have to
them.
know them. They don't have to be people you know.
Do they
make
have to
strangers
be people
happy.
you care about?
Why not?
Oh,
you don't want to make
horrible
strangers
person.
happy, huh?
No, I don't.
Interesting. Says a lot about yourself.
No, he's being honest.
I'm
though.
going to make 1,000 people happy because happiness is a guarantee.
Right.
But only for 6
Money
months.
is
What
not
if
a
it
guarantee.
fades?
So
That's okay. That's
better than
that
what
is
they might have
6 months
had.
of your life of happiness, guaranteed happiness. Every minute of your life, you're happy.
Well, you just lost
That
20
is
grand.
something
You're
that can
welcome.
almost.
Are you happy?
That's,
Proud of yourself?
yeah.
No,
I'd
what if it
rather
made
have
them
that,
more
maybe.
miserable?
20 grand?
What if you gave them $20,000 and it was the worst thing that ever
More
happened
money,
to
more
them?
problems.
Do you think it would be?
Yes, for some people it would.
No, for him.
For him,
Yeah.
would he be unhappy if
Would
he
he
got
be
20,000?
happy with 20 grand?
Maybe, yeah, probably. But what if you're wishing people happy, then perhaps then whatever is their thing that would make them happy becomes what they
It doesn't.
get.
Yeah, it wouldn't be money necessarily.
Yeah,
It'd
like
be
what if for
anything.
one person it's $20,000 and
For
another
me,
person
it would
it's a
be,
puppy?
hey, Firefly's coming back. It's like, oh my god, I'm
You
so
can't
happy.
do that. You can't bring Firefly back. You have to accept that it's gone. and
No, you
appreciate
said,
it for
but that
what
was
it
how.
is.
That's what would make me happy.
Yeah, but what if it's like Pet Cemetery when you bring it back? I just believe strongly you can't bring it back.
What did you bury it in
We've
the
gone
backyard?
into a different.
We're going down a really
Take it
dark
out into the
place here.
woods?
Yeah,
All right.
that's rough.
All right, number 2. Would you rather be Jean Grey or Wonder Woman, and why?
Wonder Woman.
Skip me. Come back.
I'm inclined to say Wonder Woman because she's just so straightforward, truth and justice and good. But Jean Grey is complicated.
Jean Grey's but she could do a lot of interesting stuff.
And she's very powerful, there's just been so much that's happened or different. It's like very complicated and complex.
Yeah, I'd like to be
Might
less
be
complicated,
enticed.
so I'm going to go with Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Why? You said and why?
I like DC.
Okay.
Actually, her powers are just a lot more straightforward, and I feel like I could do a lot more with that.
I just like her naivete.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a trait that I appreciate about her.
Yeah. All right. What's the next one?
That's what I appreciate about her.
I was gonna
That's
say it.
fine.
I was gonna say I just.
I was waiting
So,
for it.
Fair enough. You're making a sandwich. You following me? You will have to eat nothing but that kind of sandwich for a year.
Ew.
What is on your sandwich? Or you can eat a different random sandwich suggested by strangers every day for a year.
No, I'm going to eat the same sandwich and it's going to be peanut butter and jelly.
Okay.
Come back to me.
Why is this so complicated?
I am going to
I'm
make...
very picky.
Here's the thing. Some people eat some pretty weird, gross sandwiches, and that would mean that I don't get to eat for a day.
Yeah.
So I am going to make... I don't know, maybe like some really good turkey and some real good cheese, maybe a Havarti, and I don't know, maybe a little mayo and mustard. I wouldn't go too complex. I mean, I think that if I had to make this decision, I would put a little more time into it than I am right now.
You made
I'd
up
really
the question.
think about it. I know.
You had all the time.
You
had all the time.
I didn't really think too much about what type of sandwich I was going to go. So I'll tell you what, I kind of gave you some groundwork about what it might be, but I would put a lot more thought into this because I'd be eating it for a year.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a 6-inch club on Italian urban cheese, and I'm going to want that double meats. I'm going to want bacon, some Asiago, some provolone, a little bit of Havarti. I liked where your mind's at. Some cheddar. I'm going to want that toasted with a little bit of black olives and some chipotle.
Nice
I feel like
work.
This is one of those personality tests. I'm still.
You're one of those sandwich
jelly.
artists, aren't you? That I hear so much about.
I'm still going with peanut butter and jelly, and I could think about it for
Crunchy
a year
or creamy?
and still go with peanut butter and jelly. Creamy, because although I like crunchy, I think that for a year, eventually I would get tired of that.
I agree. It says a lot about you. All right. Number 5.
Well, we're on number 4.
Number 4.
If you could have any type of pet in the world, what would it be?
Raccoon.
Lion.
A lion. Here's the thing. I might have started with something like a T-Rex. So I thought about something, and that's you have to feed it, because you can't just have your pet running around killing everybody and everybody else's animals in town. So then you drop down to maybe a tiger or a bear. You still have to feed it. So what I came to rest on was just a big dog. Okay, because a big dog is nice and loyal, and you can buy dog food, and it's easy to feed. So next time you're thinking about having your lion, think about feeding that thing.
This is an interesting train of thought where you start with Tyrannosaurus Rex and you end up with like fucking Great Dane or something.
I feel like you're the guy that would waste a wish.
It's all about
you
trying
would
to feed
waste
it.
a wish.
You'd be the guy who gets 3 wishes.
You would be like,
and one of them would be a sandwich.
No, and you're gonna stop and be like, no, I got to be real practical about this shit.
Yeah.
How many genies do you know, man? Like, you're not gonna get this chance again.
Dog.
I know zero
You can have
genies.
a dog.
You can go get a dog.
Yeah, I know, and I can get food for it too.
You need a dog, I'll get you a dog.
You guys never think past
to
the
be
moment.
fair,
You never think past.
You went
practically.
raccoon.
Didn't even have to think about it.
Why raccoon?
Because number one,
Because it just eats other people's cat food off the porch. That's why. That's why she wants a raccoon. She'll never feed it because it's going to everybody else's house eating the cat food.
I feel like there's some personal experience
Yes,
bubbling up here.
that's where half our cat food goes, to the raccoons.
That's by design. But also, I'm a big fan of anything that eats with its hands. I like that in an animal, and so that's why T-Rex would go out, because they can't reach their mouths. And so I like animals that eat with their hands. I also like the idea of animals that dunk their food in water first, but my cat does that and I don't like it. But I think that with a raccoon, I would like it. I also like something that can fight.
I'm learning a lot of weird shit about you two tonight. All right.
Oh, my.
I don't know who doesn't like raccoons. I really don't.
I need more brown water. That's what I know.
Here we go, folks. Number 5.
Drink Hiss.
No,
Number 5 is
for the
this.
end.
Are you guys listening?
I'm listening.
Here we go. You're going to be part of a team.
Isn't that what we are?
Yeah. So
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Don't interrupt.
Your team can be anything in any type of entertainment. It can be anything in a comic book, a TV, a movie. It can be any type of a superhero, sci-fi, fantasy, action, comedy, any team. You're part of a team. What team is it, and what character are you?
Why didn't you give us like a week of thought for this?
You need a week of thought? Justice League, Batman. Get out of here.
It's too normal.
All right, you want something a little different?
The A-Team.
Who are you going to be on the A-Team?
I have to be somebody that already exists.
That's
or
what
I can't
he said.
Just be
Who are you
me?
going to be?
Oh, well then I'd be Murdoch, because I don't know who else.
Was that
I could
Liam
be.
Neeson? That was Liam Neeson.
No, it wasn't. So first of all, the A-Team was a show before it was a movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are we passing this now?
Well, I mean,
There you go. Here you go. Everybody.
God, you guys really suck at this
Who do you
social
want? Who do you
distancing
want?
thing where you're supposed
No,
to...
you tell me who you want.
well, you can.
I'm saving mine for last.
Okay.
Okay, you tell me who you want.
So I'm gonna go. So if I'm negating Batman or anybody easy like that, I would go, what member of a team would I want to be? I would go... Tasha, you go. I mean, Hailstorm. Shit.
What?
I think we already know, and I just said A-team.
It's really that's who you're going with? Okay.
That's what I went with. I'm not contractually
I'm not changing.
obligated.
I'm going back. I want to be Batman. I'm going Batman.
Go
Pull the
ahead.
trigger. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You don't have to care what I say.
Well, the team I want to be on is the world's greatest podcast. I want to be part of the team of the world's greatest news and reviews, and I want to be Weapon 2. That's who I want to be.
You just made us look like jerks.
That's the team I want to be.
Thanks. Made me look like...
Wow! My dreams come true!
I'm not afraid to dream bigger. All right, well played. Well, that's a dick move, sir. All right. Well, that was this or that.
All righty.
You did that on purpose to make us look bad.
He did.
Sometimes it's not hard.
I think T. Crawler's answer would have been Spider-Verse to every question.
Yeah,
well, I thought somehow you would.
We would have
Buffy
just put Spider-Verse.
I was going to say the Scoobies from Buffy, and then I want to be Buffy, but I don't want to be a girl, so...
I mean, are you that far away from it?
Because I'm pretty? Thanks.
You just winked at me.
What are we doing? Hey, talk about Instagram and all that. Talk about the social medias, webmaster.
We just looked before we started the podcast, and we have posted 255 Instagram photos, which, considering that we just started really paying attention to our Instagram, about a month ago, maybe a month and a half?
How many total have we posted?
255.
And about 240 of those have been since you took over. So yeah, well played.
And every single one of them has been an original post, whether it's a meme or a photo of us behind the scenes, or one of our collections, or even the brown water, what's in the mug.
Yeah.
All of that stuff has been original content. We're not reposting other people's stuff. I'm pretty proud of that.
I really like it when you go through and like you post a picture of one of us and you're saying a quote. Well, not only that, but like you're quoting something that we've said and like trying to entice people to go through and like watch our old episodes of the podcast, because we say interesting shit. Spoilers.
You guys do. It's fun to do that for me too.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's genius.
Yeah.
Wonderful work, Hailstorm.
Thanks.
Hey, you're welcome. So basically, I'm just gonna go straight into our here we go.
There's a way we do things. He's drinking all that brown or water, audio listeners.
All right, folks, this is Sparta. We're on our way to 300. Now, what we need everybody to do is go to our YouTube. We want you to enjoy this podcast. We also want you to subscribe. Basically, the most important thing in what I'm going to say is subscribe, because what you're subscribing to is happiness, fulfillment in your life, something you can spread and share with other people. I mean, this is starting to sound awesome, isn't it? It's because it is. After you subscribe, most important thing, because we're trying to build our subscribership, we want you to comment with your name some type of thing that we can realize who you are, so we can figure out, because something's going to get good here. You're going to find out what's happening next, because of everybody that's subscribed, you become a part of a drawing, and that drawing is a box. You're going to get a box, and the box is going to be filled with wonderful things that anybody who likes this type of thing and this podcast that we do would enjoy. It's going to have a Funko Pop from Everett, Washington. It's going to have a logo T-shirt of TWG. It's going to have an original drawing by me of any character that you want. We're going to throw some comic books in there. We're going to throw some other things we can think of that we can come up with to put in there. It's pretty fun. It's pretty awesome, and it's all free to you. We're going to pay for it. We also want you to share the information for this drawing with your friends and your family, strangers, anybody who you want to bestow happiness upon. And The directions for this drawing are going to be on our Facebook page. I put them out there so you can peruse it. You can really pay attention to the details. I don't want you to miss anything. So, have I missed anything since I've been talking about this? Have I said all the important stuff?
You've pretty much nailed it. I will just add to that, if you're curious as to this box and what all the treasures are inside of it, as he described, you can check out the 200 subscriber giveaway video on the YouTube. So you see
the 100 subscriber.
And the 100. That's
happens at every 100, folks.
Yep. So those are 2 videos where you see exactly what we put in it, and you see the happy recipients of those showing pictures and or a video of the items in said box.
So we really put a box together and we sent it to somebody.
We have a good time doing it. We love doing it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And so far, the 2 winners have been really, really excited to win and really cool and glad for the interactivity and stuff. And we just want to say thank you. And the closer we get to each 100 level interval, we're happy to give a prize away to our loyal subscribers. And yeah. Why wouldn't you? It's free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff? Do you like free stuff?
I love free stuff.
Everybody loves free stuff.
Yeah.
I love free stuff, especially awesome free stuff.
Exactly.
You can get some free stuff and it's like, that's not really that great. But this stuff is great. It's awesome. It's wonderful stuff. Road to 300, people.
I do want to say we have many, many ways to interact with us. The TWG empire is growing. Mm-hmm. We have the Facebook group, which we list the top fans we did at the top of the show this time. We have the Instagram, we have the YouTube, and we also are on all the available podcast platforms. Right. So if watching us on YouTube is not your thing, it's still great to hear us. Yeah, I usually do both.
Yeah. So, and you get a totally different feel for the podcast watching it or listening to it. And if you're curious where you could find all of those, not only do we post that on the Facebooks, but you can go to our website, theworldsgreatest.net, and you could find links to everywhere that we are. All the audio platforms, to the YouTube, to Instagram, so everything TWG related. You can find links to get original artwork by this man to my left.
And we have some blogs on there too.
We have a blog on there, yes.
Well, okay, yeah. I update my blog. My blog's current, and it's you can peruse it and read it. It's kind of funny. It's fun to read.
It's very funny.
Okay,
you're a funny guy.
Your last blog post had some original sketches from you.
Oh, some little quick sketches, cartoons that I put in there. Yep. It's a day in the life of Weapon 2.
Yep.
Nice.
You can find out what it's like to be me.
Yeah.
I imagine it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome knowing you.
Great.
Based on the sketches, it was pretty amazing.
Okay, folks.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to throw out there?
I think that's it.
I think we put a lot out there.
We put a lot out there. All right, guys. Hey, like we said before, make sure you're staying safe. And thank you for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Peace.